I'm Sherry, and this is program number 3. We're going to start with a march, and we'll get warmed up for the workout that has an introduction to power and strength maintenance. Great. Okay, let's do the heel taps in front now. In this program, we're going to do 2 sets of everything. To start, you may want to do just 1 set while you're getting used to the exercises, then 2 sets, then you're welcome to move on to 3 sets. Wait for the 3rd week before doing 3 sets. Now we'll do toe taps out to the side. And then we'll push side to side with 1 arm, so reaching across. Now hamstring curls. And knees up. Good, and back to marching. And let's go in, out, out, so narrow and wide. Good. And then we'll go back to pushing side to side, but this time 2 arms. And the hamstring curls. Then knees up. Now we'll do some dynamic stretching. So figure 8 arms. Side to side arms. Then 1 arm up and 1 arm down. And now we're going to do leg swings. So if you'd like balance support, you can get your paddle or a chair. And we'll start with the side to side leg swing. Using 1 or both arms as well, but more importantly, the leg is swinging side to side to stretch the outer hip and the inner thigh. And then same leg, forward and backward. And the leg we're standing on should just be slightly bent. With this exercise, we want to keep the pelvis neutral, so try to keep the pelvis still and only let the leg move and the arms. Okay, over to the other side for the same things. So the side to side leg swing. and then forward and backward leg swing. Good. Next, we're going to transition into our warm-up for the power movements specifically. Power movements are a bit more stress for the body, so we want to have a little extra warm-up for those. So the first warm-up exercise for those is a simple unweighted squat. Actually, should have kept the chair. If you're not comfortable with any of the leg movements, there are some squat exercises we'll be doing. If you're not comfortable with the squat movements, you can always do a seated exercise. You can put a weight on your leg and do a leg extension. Something that I prefer even more is to have a band around your foot, lean back, and do a leg press. So that's always an option if you don't want to do any of the squatting type movements in the program. But our warm-up squat, you can also modify by doing more shallow. So you can do a little squat or a deeper squat. And we're just going to do 8 squats. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The next warm-up move is a bow and arrow using the band. So you can grab your band and hold it in front of you with 2 hands. Leave one arm forward and pull the other arm back. So that could be without rotation like I just showed, or with rotation. It's up to you. And we'll do 8. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now the next warm-up is a push-up against the wall or against a countertop, because our power exercise is a power push-up. So I'm just going to do a simple wall push-up. I have a pillar, so it's looking a little bit different, but we'll just do 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or if you don't like to do that for your warm-up, you could do a band chest press for your warm-up instead, wrapping the band around your back and pressing both arms forward. A bit hard to see with my pink and pink, but that would be the other option. So now we're going to get on to those actual power exercises. First, we have a squat jump progression. So the full squat jump might not be for everyone. It's a high impact exercise, and so you might not choose to ever do it, but you might, and it's an option. But for the first week, we would just practice the landing. So the landing for a squat jump would be up on your toes and then squat down. And if you don't want to go that low, that's okay. You can go up on your toes and then do a smaller squat down. So that's our first progression. Our second progression would be starting as a squat, then going up on the toes, and then coming back down to a squat. And again, you wouldn't have to go super low. You could just do a little one, up on your toes, and then a little one. And then the third progression would be the full squat jump. And this you would only begin in the 3rd week. If you choose to do it at all, you can stick with either of the other 2. And this is starting as a squat, jumping, and then squatting again. So I'm going to do the middle version today. If it's your first week, just do the landing. it's your second week, you can do what I'm doing. If it's your third week and beyond, you can choose any of the options. Excuse me. For power moves, we're just going to do 5. So it's low volume, high intensity, and we're focusing on quickness. So I'm focusing on how quick I can go upwards for this. Okay, here we go. Up, down, there's 1. You start low, up, down, there's 2, 3, starting as a squat, up, down, 4, and 1 more. That's 5. Fun. Okay, good. Now the next one is a 1-arm row with power. So the same as the 1-arm row you probably have done before, but this time we're doing it quickly. We're focusing on the force of movement and being explosive with the movement. So grab a light, medium weight, and let's just do a couple of regular 1-arm rows just to remind us of the technique. Once you feel okay with that, the power squat, the power movement is just simply going up quickly, breathing out sharply. Let's do 5. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you notice my repetitions, they're still not in quick succession, so I take my time on the recovery. It's just the power during the force production. And let's just kind of get used to the movement. Yep, that feels good. Ready, go, 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 and 1 more, go. Remember that forceful breathing out. So for me, that felt like I could be quick, so that's what I was looking for, but I could also be quick with more weight. So next time I'll probably try to have more weight. As long as I can maintain that quick and explosiveness, I can keep bringing up the weight. But if it starts to get slow, then you have to go back to the lower weight that you had previously. Now we're getting a band. Oh, actually, no, sorry, we're doing a power push-up, I forgot. So we don't need the band. We will be against the wall. So for the power push-up, it can be against a wall. For me, it would be perfect to be against a countertop or a chest freezer, something like that level would be great for me. Some people might prefer to be on a chair, which is lower, obviously, and harder. The floor would be much harder, and if you do that, I would recommend starting from the knee push-up. But for the general theory, we would go forward slowly, and then explosively off. And it's okay if you push yourself right off the ground or off the wall. On the ground, it's going to be a more forceful landing because gravity is acting more forcefully. So keep that in mind. It will be harder on the wrists and other joints the lower you go. That's why being against the wall is a really good first one, and I would just progress very slowly to lower levels. All right, let's do 5 quick ones. Here we go. So slowly down, and then boom, explode off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember that sharp breathing outward. So yeah, fun. And now we're going to go back to the first one and do the squat jump progression again. So we'll do those as a circuit of 3. So here we go with the squat jump. Ready, go. Ready, go. I'm standing between each one to reset. Ready, go. That's 3. Ready, go. That's 4. And 1 more. Ready, go. That's 5. Now we'll do the 1-arm row with power. Remember the sharp breathing outward, explosive movement. Okay, ready, go. Ready, go. Ready, go. Go. 1 more, go. And the other side. Let's So remember, great posture, so push the hips back. Ready, go. Ready, go. 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 And go. So quick, explosive movement. And now the push-up. Getting into position. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, and always being aware too, how are your hands feeling? How are your wrists feeling? Making sure you're keeping yourself safe, not doing too much for yourself. Now we'll get into the strength maintenance exercises. So first we have the staggered squat. We'll need a chair, and I would use a paddle or broomstick or something else for balance. Today I'll be doing it, actually I'll demonstrate with just a light weight so you know how to hold it if you choose to use a weight. But the weight is optional. You can hold your paddle however you want, but I forgot my tip, so I'm going to hold it upside down. And the paddle is just for balance. You don't need to use it if you don't want to. And the staggered squat, one leg will be a little bit in front of the other. If you use a weight, just hold it down. We'll be sitting in the chair and standing up. And that's it, and we're going to do 8 per side. Now, if you want it to be harder, put less weight on this front foot so you're barely touching or not touching at all. That would be really hard. Okay, ready? And go. 1, 2, and just you can adjust your feet and knees to be comfortable for your knees. 3, find a position that works for you. 4, if you're having a hard time with this, reaching your arm forward makes it easier. 5, if you don't have a weight. So for example, I'll show you what that would look like. Reaching forward. 6, that helps a lot if you are not using a weight. 7 and 8. All right, let's switch to the other side. Make sure your chair is in the right spot. Ready, and go. 1, it's harder on one side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. And hopefully you can feel the leg that's closer to the chair is doing more work. Next, we're doing the bent one-arm row. So I'm going to demonstrate with light weights. You can always move up next time. We don't need the chair, but might as well leave it there because we'll be using it again soon. So, oh, actually, we may use the chair. We're going to do a one-arm version of this exercise. And the reason I chose the one-arm version is you can get more back support. So you can use the back of the chair. For the hip position, we want to be in a hip hinge position. So the hips are back. That puts the center of gravity back so it's easier on your back. With the hand, the palms are going to face forward this time, which is quite different from what we've done before, and the elbow comes up. So you can hold the chair to make this less stress for your back. Remember to push the hips back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'll show you a front view as well for the other side. But remember, push those hips back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you could do it with both arms, but you would have to be more cautious with the lower back, really making sure the hips are pushed back. Back to the staggered squat now. So I'll just use one weight for that and get my paddle again for balance. Okay, get ready. One leg forward, one leg back, and go. 1, 2, so focusing more on the leg that's closest to the chair. 3, using it a bit more. 4, we're breathing out when we stand. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And remember, I showed an exercise earlier for if you don't like squats or they don't feel good, you can do that leg press with the band. Okay, other side here, ready, and go. 1, 2, 3. The weight is completely optional. I just wanted to show how to hold it, or if you do choose to use it. 5. And the balance assistant is optional too. 6, 7, and 8. Good. And back to the one arm row, inverted it's called. So, but the hand, all it means is the palm is forward. So get the hips back, so it's safer for the back. You can hold the chair for support. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, it's my first week trying these exercises, so I'm using light weights. You'll probably end up using much heavier weights as you get used to the program. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if it's your first week, light weights. Second week, trying to figure out what's right. Third week, hopefully you've got the right weights for you. Now we're doing a single leg hip hinge and a kick. We won't use the chair. Well, you could. I'm going to use my paddle for balance instead, but you could use your chair or balance. So what we're aiming for eventually in that third week is to feel like the last 2 exercises are challenging for us. But we can still do them with good technique if we want to feel challenged. So this exercise, the weight is optional, but it would be good to have something for balance support, whether it's your paddle or a chair. Hold it in front. Remember we have done the hip hinge exercise. We want the hips to go back and the shins to stay about where they are. Now we're going to make it harder. Try to do that with one leg, similar movement, while kicking back with the other leg. So it's a single leg hip hinge, and I just added the kick as well. So let's do 8. Here we go. 1, so we're trying to remember to get the hips back. 2, and the kick I think helps with that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, you can hold the weight if you want. It's optional. If you want to make it heavier as the program goes, then please go ahead. Let's do the other leg. Have to remember which leg that is. Okay, and go. 1, 2, and remember to push the hips back. 3, that's when you can feel it more in the glutes. 4, when the hips go back. 5, 6, and again it's safer for the back when the hips go back. 7, and 8. All right, good. Now we're going to do the shoulder press. We'll use 2 weights for this one. We're going to start with the hands facing in towards the neck, and as the arms go up in a wide Y, then the palms face kind of up and forward, but not in anymore. So just like that, when the arms go up, the upper arms are beside the ears. We don't want the arms to be forward or back. And the posture is nice and tall, although the knees are bent. Okay, let's do 8 of these. Oh, actually first, that hurts some people's shoulders. Not everyone can do overhead lifts. If you can't, then go back to the front raise, or you can do the side raise. And if that hurts, then you might have a physio exercise to do, or you can contact me and I'll give you an option. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. And now back to that single leg hip hinge with the kick. So you can get something to help with balance. Ready? And go. Hips back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and the other side. Oh, and if you don't like this one, just stick to the regular hip hinge that we've done before. Both legs staying on the ground and the hips going back. Okay, other side. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll do the shoulder press again. And we're getting ready for some fun exercises with the shoulder press. It's really fun later when we do power moves with the shoulder press. So that was a push jerk, or you can do a push press. But today we're just doing the simple movement to get used to it. So legs stay still, ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we really do want to start with light weights with this one, but you can progress to slightly heavier ones. They won't get too heavy without the extra power of the legs, but we want to stay safe for that one. Now we're going to a wood chop exercise. There is a standing and a kneeling option. I'll show you both, but I'm going to choose the kneeling option because the one it's supersetted with is also on the floor, but either is fine. So with the band, you're doing the standing option. You'll stand on the band, and then the other leg will be a little bit more forward. Make sure you're standing with the ball of your foot because you may want to lift the heel when you're turning to protect your knee. This foot will be facing out slightly. We'll be lifting and turning. So there's the standing version. You can also add a squat to make it more challenging. And of course, a thicker band is always harder, or doubling up the band. Although it's hard to double it up when you need a long length of it. Okay. I'm going to be on my knee for this one, but I'm going to have a bit more mat under my knee, so I'll also make it so you can see me a bit better. Hopefully that helps. So the band will be under the knee, other leg is forward, and then I'll be reaching up and across. And for this one, actually, I'm going to try to keep my hips more forward, and it's just my torso moving. So I do feel it a bit more in my core. Anyway, let's do 8. Ready? And go. 1, 2. If you don't want to twist, you can also just move the arms without twisting the body. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and over to the other side. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the rest of the exercises are on the mat, so let's make sure we have all the equipment we need. We'll need the band for this exercise. We will also need light to medium weight for a pullover exercise. That's just one weight. And a light weight for the reverse fly. We've got that already. And a light weight for the shoulder extension. We've got that already. Okay, so we're ready. The next exercise is a boat pose with leg lifts. So I might actually sit on the portion that's already doubled up here. And previously we have done a boat pose. Now we're going to change it a little bit. So we're going to use our arms to support us, keeping a tall posture. And then the legs can be either more bent or less bent. So more bent is a little easier. And we're going to try to lift the legs up and the other side. You can even put something there, like your band, and try to go over one side, then the other side. That's quite challenging. So if you find that it's too challenging to lift both legs, lift one leg, then the other. One leg, then the other. If you're okay with both, then you can do both. It's your choice. We're going to do 8 per side. Ready? And go. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. And back to the reverse wood chop, so you can go back to the standing or kneeling version. I'm going to stick with the kneeling version, and I'll just show you a side view this time. Or maybe I'll show you this one. Doesn't matter. So getting the band under there. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then the other side. So in terms of paddling, we're trying to keep that power circle or power D, where your arms are in front of your chest as your chest moves, unless you're not wanting to rotate. Then your arms do move side to side. But if you're okay with rotating, try to move your arms with your chest. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And back to the last one we just did, which I'm blanking on, the boat pose with leg lifts. And again, I'll put the band here for my target to lift my legs over. So sitting with great posture, leaning back a little. Here we go. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Good. And now we're going to a one-sided dead bug with a pullover. So want to lie down on the mat and start with a light weight for this one. If you've been in my classes before, probably done the dead bug with me before, which we do on both sides, and you've probably done the pullover, which we do generally with both arms. Now we're going to put it together using a light weight. Start light, you can always do more later, and on one side only. So this is now a pullover with this leg, and still doing the dead bug with the other leg. So I've got one leg on the ground, that's easier. If you want it to be harder, have one leg up. Harder still would be straighter legs, but also a heavier weight. So let's get going. Ready? And go. 1, keep the lower back on the mat. 2, and keep the rib cage still. And 3, we want to breathe out as we're lifting. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. A really good one for paddling. Now the other side. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, good. Now we're doing a plank reverse fly. I've got different options. I know not everyone wants to do the plank. Now, if you really don't want to be on your hands and knees or doing a plank at all, you could do this one standing, either with a chair or leaning on your leg, and do the reverse fly that way. You do need to be bent forward for this exercise, but this is the standing option, leaning forward with great posture and lifting out to the side. Now, if you are okay with being on your hands and knees, and we'll get a bit of a plank out of it as well, and we'll have the arm go out to the side on the hands and knees. You can make this harder by doing a more challenging version of a plank, or even the full plank if you want. I'll do the hands and knees ones today. And we're going to do 8. And the arm is going out to the side. I'll show you in this orientation. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the other side. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And back to the one side, dead bug and pull over. Okay, ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the other side. Actually, maybe it's not so good to pass the weight over our faces. Let's not do that. Let's not do that in the future. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. And back to the reverse fly with the light dumbbell with the plank or standing. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. And you can see my arm's not fully straightened, and that's fine. Other side, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we're done that superset. Now we're going to go to the last superset. Wow, time flies. The glute bridge walkout and the side lying shoulder extension. So the glute bridge walkout, we will be lying on our backs. Got a couple of different options for you. You can do the regular glute bridge, which is, for this one, we'll be holding the hips up. Second option would be heel lift, trying to unweight the foot and hold yourself more on one leg. So if you're not quite ready for doing the steps, if you're doing the full march out with me, then we'll take little steps out as far as you want, not too many steps, and then back up. Okay, so we're going to do 8 out and 8 back. So let's go for it. Ready? And go. So just a couple of steps out and back in. There's one, and we'll keep the hips high. If you want it to be harder, you can always put a weight on your hips or a band. You can have the band wrapped around and pressed down. That's a really good option for this one. 3, keep the hips up. Well, they will lower a little together as the legs go out. 4, 5, feel that your glutes are working, maybe the hamstrings, the back should feel okay. 6, 2 more. 7, and 8. Okay, good. If your lower back hurts at any point, just go to an easier option or take a break. And the next one is the side lying shoulder extension. Now we're going to do 12 repetitions of this one instead of 8. So for this one, we will use a very, very light weight. We'll be lying on this side. And now if you're not comfortable lying on the side for some reason, there is a modification where you can sit anywhere or stand and hold the band and have the arm bent at 90 degrees going out to the side. Keep your upper arm next to your torso. One arm at a time for this workout. For this, you will be holding the weight in front of your torso, keeping the upper arm on your torso and raising the arm up. If you don't have much tissue to rest your arm on there, then you might want to roll up a towel so your arm is more parallel to the ground. If you want to add something, you could add a leg raise. Easier if the bottom leg is bent, and harder for stability if the bottom leg is straight. That's optional. Ready? And go. 1, 2, and we're doing 12, remember. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Over to the other side for the same thing. If you don't feel comfortable using your arm for a pillow, you can get an actual pillow or yoga mat, yoga block, whatever you like. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Okay, back to the glute bridge walkout. Lying on the back, lifting the hips, squeezing those glutes. Here we go. Just a little walkout. There's 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And back down. And then going to the side lying exercise one more time. Okay, we're ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Over to the other side. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, we're done our 2 sets of everything in that workout. Now we're going to do a bit of a stretch. So I like to start by lying down, doing a glute stretch. So we'll bring the knee up and across. And if you need more of a stretch, you can hold your ankle upward as well. We'll just hold the stretch, take some deep breaths. We're aiming for a gentle stretch where we can still breathe steadily. And over to the other side. Same thing. All right, let's do a hamstring stretch. So we'll hold the thigh first, and then we'll straighten the leg as much as we can while holding the thigh to feel a gentle stretch in the back of the leg. So just a reminder for these workouts, our first priority is to stay safe because we're doing this to get stronger for paddling and stronger for life. So if we get injured, that won't help with our goal. We want to stay safe, progress gradually and slowly. So start with low weights and progress slowly. And with the power exercises, start with feeling out the exercise, then you can be more and more explosive and quick as you become more comfortable with it. Okay, over to the other side. Holding the thigh and then straightening the leg more. And then that being said, we do want to challenge ourselves, but within that safety limit. So if you feel that the exercise feels great, you don't feel any sore joints or twinging muscles, then you can work hard. Okay, good. Let's lie on the side and do a quadricep stretch. Holding the ankle, pushing the knee down. The heel is going to the glute. And we squeeze the glute muscle to get more of a stretch for the front of the thigh. All right, over to the other side, same thing. Holding the ankle, bringing the heel to the glute, squeezing the glute. and sitting up. And we'll do a couple more stretches. We'll do a back stretch, clasping the hands, rounding the shoulder blades forward. If you want, you can look down with the head. And let's do a lat stretch too. We'll reach up and across. I'm using the other arm to stabilize myself. And the other side, reaching up and across. Not just the arm, but we're kind of reaching the armpit up as well. And then a chest stretch. Let's just have thumbs up and reach back. Okay, to end the class, let's take 3 deep breaths at our own pace. So we'll breathe in and up, and down. 2 more. Good. I hope you had a great class. Take care.